Hello everybody, my name is Connor and welcome back to another Boa Hancock game. I know, I'm putting together a Lucci deck and I did get permission to borrow a friend's dragon deck. So we'll be switching in a little bit, but I just can't get enough of Boa and we're playing against Bonney again. And my opponent does have a really unfortunate search here. They use the Jewelry Bonney searcher, and they search, and they get, I think they said that their search was 3 Hody Jones, which is insane, a 0 cost event, and a 10 cost Dofi. So it's good for me that those cards are at the bottom, but really unfortunate for my opponent. So he just swings 7, and I go ahead and take it, and I get Boa. I like having Boa in my hand. I'm not mad about it. My hand is getting kind of big though, but we are about to be at 4 Dawn, and hopefully we can do something there. I know we can because we have the Doflamingo blocker, and that is something I only see once per game, and it is about time. It is a Dofi turn. So they have all their Dawn tapped, which is important for me to know, which means I can do what I please. So I go ahead and swing 5 into Bonney, the Searcher Bonney. I let her go, and I go ahead and I play the Dofi. I feel like I have Tashigi, but I don't want a Tashigi. Tashigi is in my deck to look for Gravity Blade, and I have a Gravity Blade, so I'm content. I'm able to use her as a counter if I want it, and if she's in my hand and I need another Gravity Blade, that's fine. But we go ahead and place the cards up top. I liked what I was seeing. I saw another Dofi, which is almost unheard of. 2 blocker Dofis for me. Crazy. My opponent, he swings, I can't even do the math that quick. 9, and I give him 2Ks and a 1K. My hand size was getting kind of big, and I know that green doesn't have anything to kind of disrupt hand size, but I would like to be able to use Boa ability as soon as possible. I am trying to decide what I want to do. I am at 6 Dawn, so I feel like I could drop Boa, but there's no benefit in dropping Boa. I don't get to freeze anything or anything like that. So he does have, I did ask, he had more than 6 cards in his hand. I think he said he had 7. So I end up playing the Law that I top decked, and I draw another. If I was just 1 Dawn ahead, I could have dropped Dofi. That would have been a crazy cool play, but hey, I'm not mad about the play I had. I think it is pretty solid. I definitely like using that blocker, or that bouncing Law, if you will. I think it's just a good way, early game, to get cards out of hand. Of course, I was kind of hoping for pudding, because I know that his hand can get pretty big. That Bonnie's hand can get pretty big. So he swings 5, and I give him that Law 2K because I know he is aware that I have it. I don't want to give him the blocker Dofi because I'd like to play out the blocker Dofi if I can. And I'd like to. I think I don't want to give him any extra information. I don't want him to know what's in my hand. So got a countering out with the 2K Law, and I'm trying to decide how I want to do this. If I want to, I know that I could swing, and then he'd probably rest my blocker, and then I could Gravity Blade. But I kind of want to establish a board first, and just kind of get some things on the board, get some bigger bodies on the board. And so I'm really thinking about this. My thinking cap is on. But I do decide to just, even though we're at 8 Dawn, I drop Boa, and I freeze the Basil Hawkins, and I just go ahead and pass turn. I could have Perfume Femered and swung, but I did not want to. I didn't want to give him the opportunity to rest my Doflamingo, or my Boa, in honesty. So I just figured it was best to just kind of pass and play a little passive until I get more on the board. So he goes ahead and taps 5, playing out the Cavendish, adding 2 of his Dawn back up. Super solid play, honestly, can't even be mad. And then he swings a massive amount, and I just put Dofi in front of it. I have another Dofi in my hand, and I'm thinking this way it's easier for him to tap my entire board, and I still get the benefit of playing Gravity Blade. And now I can Gravity Blade 2 bigger bodies to the bottom. So he ends up, I swing 8 with Boa, he rests my Boa, and he takes, I tap 7 here in a second. I gotta count though. Y'all made me have to really count my Dawn now. I appreciate it, don't get me wrong. And I Gravity Blade, sending both of his bodies to the bottom of his deck. And then I tap 3 and I play out Dofi, just Gravity Blading before not giving him the option to rest Dofi or anything to get the benefit of Hawkins there. And I'm pretty... Honestly, I'd be interested to know what you guys think. I have the 8 cost event. Sorry, I gotta move my cat. She's scratching at my screen. I have the 8 cost event, the 10 drop Dofi that bounces an 8 cost character back. I'm not sure how I feel about it. I kind of been thinking about cutting it and maybe putting in like 0 cost events or a 0 cost event or something. I don't know. But he's at 10 Dawn, he swings 5, I counter out with the 2k, and then he drops the 10 drop Dofi, freezing Boa, and Boaception. And I'm thinking that I could Gecko to bring back something, or I could, I'm pretty low on cards in hand, and as I mentioned, I don't think green has anything to tap, or to disrupt hand sizes. So, kind of tempted to see what I do. I tap 4, play down the Gecko, and I think about taking the Doflamingo blocker, but I decide to take the 2k instead, because he does have a big hand, as I kind of mentioned. And since my stuff is frozen, I think I'm just gonna play on the back foot here. I tap 4. I play out Law, bouncing back to hand, and I get to draw, and we get another Law. We get 2 Laws. And he ends up going to bottom deck something, changing his mind, bottom deck something else, and we're just kind of playing the game pretty slow. He does have that 10 cost Dofi, which is scary. I could have played 10 cost Kaido in a response to hit that 10 cost Dofi, but I do kind of like when I play how I played Gecko here. He is at 10, so he swings 10, I think, into Boa, and I counter out Boa character, and I counter out, and then he's going to scoop up a lot, and I get a little worried. But he does drop Kid, 8 cost Kid, which is scary, and I'm like, okay, like I can get rid of Kid. I'm feeling pretty confident. He's got less cards in his hand now. I think I want to say he's at like 5-ish. He's around 6 to 5, somewhere in there, at most. And I already have, Boa, which is a big body, and I'm thinking I can just swing massive, and there's no way he can counter out of that. I need to get Kid off the board before it becomes a problem. I don't have a red rock. I don't have a red rock coming up, and I don't want to rely on a red rock in my life. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he's got 5 cards in hand, as I just counted. And I swing. I can't even do that math. I swing a lot, and he ends up letting him go, and then he taps my leader, and I'm trying to decide if there's any other card I feel like would benefit or be benefited from playing. And I have 4 left, so I could Gecko and get another 2k back. Which Gecko is so good in this deck. I really love that Gecko Moira. And I do, and well, do I? yeah, I go 5 into life first, just to kind of get one more card out of his hand. And I get the Scratchman Apu, which is a 2K, and I play out another Gecko, but this is my super pre-release Gecko, so y'all know I'm fancy, and I end up taking the 2K Mihawk. Honestly, I know that I did post a game where I was running Kaya's in the 2K Mihawk slot, but Mihawk is so good because he's another 2K that you can buy back with Gecko. Like, having that, being able to get it back from trash is so nice. Yeah, that Gecko card is potentially one of the MVPs of the deck, in all honesty. So he swings, what is that? I think 14 into Boa, and I go ahead and I let her go. I'm thinking that depending on what he does, I can drop a big body. And I feel like well, I don't remember what I do. I know this happened like 3 hours ago at this point, 4 hours ago. So, you know, that was 4 hours ago, guys. Come on, give me a break. Oh, I remember. So I'm separating things out like I have Gravity Blade just to see what I can do here. So I swing 5, he takes. And he taps my leader, and then I swing another 5, and I feel like he goes ahead and counters, and I tap 10, seeing as, well, I got him to take, and now I can activate Kaido ability, and I get another Gravity Blade, and I'm drawing cards, and I'm like, wait, it's 4. I don't want to I got a little too overzealous, and now our hand is pretty big. I didn't get a ton more counters, though. And this is kind of something I said, is like, I really like my build, but when my build bricks, it bricks, which is part of the reason I want to find space for the 0 cost event. But I rarely play that 10 cost, the bouncing 10 cost. I don't want to send resources back to my opponent's hand. So I may drop it. I don't know. I have to do some testing and stuff, but the Gravity Blades, so good. I love Gravity Blade. Just in this deck in general, it's so good. Now that I'm not playing against Sakazuki's and I get to use it, it's very good. So my opponent goes ahead and plays out the Cavendish. And we've got a fat hand. We're still at 4 life. We're doing pretty good on life. And he plays out the Bonney. I can't remember what Bonney does off the top of my head. I know I had to ask during the game because I don't feel like Bonney rests one of my Dons. So I go ahead and I put the Luffy Don to the side. I think I end up moving it up a little bit just so I know, hey, this is rested. Yeah, there it goes. Don't use it, it's rested. He swings 10 at a Gecko and I let him go. And then he swings 6 and I give him a Law, counter out, and we draw for turn, we get Croc. And his board is definitely looking really scary. I'm hoping I could deal with the board. So I swing 12 into Dofi. And he is thinking about it. He taps my leader, and he actually ends up letting Dofi go, which thrilled about. And so I'm thinking here, I am going to go 6, and I think he goes ahead and gives me the Scratchman Apu. Oh, that's right. I should have swung 7, but I did my math wrong, which big surprise. And I play another Gravity Blade, and I send another Basil Hawkins and another Cavendish to the bottom of my opponent's deck and pass turn. So I've taken care of his board. I've got a big hand. I'm feeling pretty much like I can kind of do depending on what he plays, I can do some work with Kaido. And then he drops a 9 Kazoro, and I'm like, fuck. That is scary. That is very, very scary. So I'm a little stressed. I haven't seen a red rock all game, and I'm like, do I just lose? Like, I'm thinking, like, do I just lose? And I'm like, no, I have a lot of counter in my hand. I think the play is to just kind of focus down life and drop a blocker, drop my 8-cost blocker. So it looks like my hands are shaking. So I go ahead, I swing 7. He goes ahead, rests my boa. She's just sitting there looking pretty, honestly. And he ends up taking that. His hand size is looking pretty low at this point. And I tap 8 and I drop Aramaki. I think, like, Aramaki is a really, like, I love it in this deck. I know it's weird and, like, not a lot of people play it in this deck, but it's, to me, I think it's so good. It's hard. It's, like, black decks have to use a lot of resources to get rid of it. Same with, red purple law. It's hard for red purple law to get over. It saves my ass here. Like, I have so many counters in my hand, and this blocker it's just very solid. It's a good blocker, and it feeds into boa ability. I can use it to bottom deck something and swing. So he goes ahead and swings into me, and I go ahead and counter out 2 and then 1 with a 6 and a 5 swing. And then here comes the Zoro Barrage. Yeah, this is scary. So he puts, I think he goes 15 into Kaido, if I remember correctly. And he goes 15, and I give him 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I give him 16 here. He goes again. Another 15 into Kaido, and I think I give him both of those 2Ks right there to get it out again. 13, 14, 15, 16. And then he taps 2 or more, stands Zoro, and goes again, and I block with Aramaki. So the combination of Kaido, Aramaki, so good there, saves my butt from the Zoro Barrage. That card is so scary, and when he dropped it and I hadn't seen any red rocks, I was stressed, to say the least. So I'm like, I have to get rid of that Zoro. I have to swing. He has about 3 to 4 cards in his hand, I believe. And I know he doesn't have a ton in his hand, but I have to get rid of Zoro. If I don't get rid of Zoro, Kaido is going to be gone, and it hurts. 3, 4, 5. Oh, so he has 5 in his hand, excuse me. So I swing, I can't even count, 12, 18. I swing 18. I'm not joking around. I want him gone. He's unable to counter out. I knew it was kind of overkill. So I then swing big into Bonney as well, just to see if what he wants to do. He gives me 3 cards to counter out, and I pass turn. I'm okay with that. I think I might have forgotten to boa ability, but it does look like my hands are shaking a bit. I know that this game was really intense. I know my leg was bouncing like crazy. I know this game had me really kind of on the edge of my seat. Because I know there was a point where my opponent was like, I am just top decking my cards, and he was the top deck Zoro. He's top decking good, man. So I was definitely stressed, and that's why I swinging massive into Kaido, or massive with Kaido into Zoro. Like, I had to do it, because knowing my luck, he was gonna get something scary. So my opponent is trying to think about what he wants to do, if there's anything he can do. He's got 3 in hand, 1 life. I've got 3 bodies to attack with. 3 in hand. It's not looking good for him. It's looking pretty, getting rid of that Zoro, I think, really kind of secured it for us. And honestly, Kaido really the MVP in this game, if you ask me. Like, honestly, huge. Kaido really came in clutch. I think that just dropping Kaido when I did, I think I dropped him at a good time, and then I got good cards out of him, because as you can see, like, and I think you'll see in some of the games I post later this week. So my opponent does go ahead and scoop, because there's a red rock. Great. It was not looking good for him, but as you can see, like my opponent, my deck can run a lot of non-counter cards, and it is kind of scary. But having just having that Kaido get me 2Ks, I was able to keep Kaido alive and get rid of that Zoro, and I think that really like sealed the game. Of course, my opponent bottom decking 3 of his 4 Hody Joneses was also really helpful for me. But yeah, I think my deck did what it needed to do, and I'm pretty pleased with the game. I'm really happy with how it went for me. Unfortunate, that my opponent had terrible luck, but that do be the game we play, my friends. But that'll do it for me, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked this video, hit that like button down below. It helps me out more than you can ever know. Go ahead and subscribe if you are new, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have a wonderful rest of your day.